Okay.
So I'm going under the impression that y'all know Takadimi, and also that you have a okay idea of what dotted rhythms are, because we just did that as well. But since we did not go over it, can we do just a slight review on these syllables in Takadimi, or how you would say in rhythm in Takadimi these? So what would a quarter note be if we were in 4/4?
Ta.
Ta. Okay. So what would two eighth notes be?
Tadi.
Tadi. Okay. And then 16ths?
Takadimi.
Takadimi. Cool. So if we go above ta, saying an eighth note in rhythm is actually 2. So you would say 2, 2. Can everyone repeat that after me? 1, 2, ready, go. 2, 2, 2, 2. Awesome. So going even above that, a whole note is toe. And I'm actually going to write it like the thing on your body so you don't confuse it with 2. So can y'all repeat it? We're going to go from the half note to the whole note. So 1, 2, ready, go. 2, 2, toe, 2, 2, toe. Awesome. So now we're going to focus a little more on dotted rhythms. Does anyone know what that means? Have you heard of a dotted rhythm? I'm sure you've seen one, so let's see. Has anyone ever seen something maybe that looks like that in music?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Doesn't it just mean you add some sort of something to it?
Actually, yes. So let's see. Let's say we have a measure of 4/4. So how many beats is in this measure?
4.
4? Okay. And how many beats does a quarter note get?
1.
1? So we have 2 quarter notes here, right? So that's 2 beats of this measure. So how many beats has to be in this part of the measure?
2.
2. And how many beats does an eighth note get? Half? Okay. So we have half. So how much is left in this measure?
1 and
1.5. Okay. Let's do another example. Let's say we're still in 4/4, and we have, let's see, we'll go on a bigger picture. So,
Why does the first note get 1.5 beats?
so a dot will add half of the value of the note extra to this note.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, getting more into it. So we see there are 4 beats in this measure, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And how many beats does this quarter note get? 1? Okay. Whatever. Okay. And how many beats does a half note usually get?
2.
But how many beats do we have left in this measure?
3.
3? So because of this dot, we add half of the value of this to this half note. So we have basically 2 plus 1. Does that make a little more sense as to what the dot is? Okay. So going to Takadimi, to say this in Takadimi, first off, let's focus on the two quarter notes at the end of this measure. So what would these 2 be if we were in 4/4? Ta-ta, okay. And so we want to signify that this is a dotted rhythm. So by doing that, we want to stress on the beat that actually isn't stressed. And I know that sounds confusing, but what would 2 quarter notes usually be? Ta-ta, right? So it would usually, if this was this, it would be ta-ta, right? Okay, so we're actually adding an extra half value of a quarter note to this quarter note, right? So we want, when we're counting, we want everyone to know that we know where the second beat is. So it would sound like ta-a-di-ta-ta. Does that make sense? Ta-a-di-ta-ta. Do you know, does everyone know where I got the D?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Is that clear? Okay. So let's go to this example. What would a half note usually get? If we were counting it in Takagumi?
2.
2, and then a quarter note would be
Ta.
ta. Okay. So since this is still kind of a half note, a type of a half note, so we would say tu ta. And I like stressing this because when you're counting rhythms, you won't get lost and maybe count this too early. So you're saying tu ta.
So do you not say the second beat with an emphasis?
You can if you want to. If you want to stress all 3 beats, I do this because it's stressing that you're adding that half value. Does that make sense?
But my band director said at the beginning of every single beat is ta. Why are we saying 2?
To signify that there is a greater value than a quarter note, which we all know is ta, we say 2 for a half note and to for a full note.
But that's not
Right.
what my band director said.
In this instance, we're going to say that a half note is 2 and a whole note is to.
Okay.
Okay. And I think it will help when we're learning bigger values, or when we have measures that are full of half notes, whole notes, quarter notes, to signify which is which. And we'll actually get into that in a second, if we have time. So, now I want to focus on the dictation aspect of rhythm. So, if I can I have, oh, I'm so sorry, I completely forgot to do another example. Okay. Oh, okay. So, let's see what we know about what we know about dotted notes as of now. I'm gonna make this a pretty simple measure. So, how would we say this in Takagumi?
Ta-dee-ta-ta-ta.
Okay. So if we were to dot this 8th note, we would have an extra half value added to this 8th note, correct? So it would be an extra 16th. So we would have, it would be kind of the value of 3 16th notes and 1. So it would be ta, mi, ta, mi, ta, 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 because you're skipping over these because it has the value of the dotted rhythm, right? Ta, ta, mi, ta, 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 mi, ta, ta, ta. Does that make sense for the most part? Okay. So, I would like 2 volunteers to come to the board. Doug and, I'm sorry, Emerson. We're gonna do some rhythmic dictation. And actually, I have, if you would like to use this, you could just go to anywhere on the board. Okay.
Thanks.
So, we're actually gonna do another pop song. And know that rests could be included in this as well. Hold on 1 second.
William Shakespeare.
Okay, so before the part that we're going to dictate begins, we're just going to clap the rhythm, because actually in the song it claps the rhythm as well, or the quarter note. And the part we're going to dictate is, it says, "You've been waiting for that." And then luckily, it's 2 measures of 4/4, and it repeats itself right after it happens. Okay? So let's see how it goes. So you hear the ta 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 ta. Here it comes. Okay, so we're gonna do that one more time, or a few more times. Make sure you know what ta is. Here it comes.
Can we have a minute?
Uh-huh.
Me too.
Here we go. Does anyone want to try to Takadimi yet
Yeah.
for the class? Yeah. Do you want to try?
Sure.
Okay. What do you think you have?
1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, dee, ta, dee, ta. Or 2.
Okay.
Or is it a red?
Yeah.
Okay,